Face like this, spread apart.
As Ali was, he was just phenomenal. I don't know if you ever met him, but I just wanted to squeeze him, which I did 2 or 3 times, and I just loved him, and I still do, you know. And tonight when I go to sleep, I'll be thinking about him and saying a prayer. I really will. He did. Wow.
His star power could fill arenas the size of Madison Square Garden 100 times over. But it was the intimacy that photographer Michael Gaffney recalls. He spent a year on the road with Ali in the late 1970s and has special memories of a trip to South America, where Ali toured hospitals filled with polio victims and lent a helping hand to the poor.
Every day that we were there were beggars lined up in the hallway. And he would... He gave each one of them a $100 bill. And I said, "Champ, why are you doing that?" And he said, "Because $100 here is worth $10,000 at home." And that was him.
Service to others is the rent we pay for our room here on earth. So people pay me to serve them. I serve them with my talent. I used to chase celebrities. I used to follow celebrities. And you look big to them, and you look great, and they've been reading about you, and now they see you. So you expect that. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a champion, a leader of my people in some kind of way to help them. That was my life purpose, was to be somebody with influence to help lead people the right way. I always knew it was going to happen. I knew I was born for something.
We were all born with individual ways. This itself makes us individuals. But personality is the development of individuality. Personality does not come with us at birth. It is something that is acquired or gained or learned. But we were all individuals. All men want to be the greatest. All men want to be successful in whatever they're doing. And this personality that I display, they see it in themselves, or they would like to do it. And they come to see me victorious because they hope they will be victorious. There's another one. A worldly loss often turns into spiritual gain. A worldly loss often turns into spiritual gain. Many people lost Martin Luther King, but I hate to say it, but it helped the people get more of the things they wanted. I gave up my title for 4 years and money. Now I'm bigger than ever, more praise and more respect and honor. Boys were lost in Vietnam, and a lot of people got something out of it.
A worldly loss often turns into spiritual gain, isn't it?
When peace is made within, one will gain sufficient strength and power to use in the struggle of life, both within and without. Whew. When peace is made within, one will gain sufficient strength and power to use in the struggle of life, both within and without.
You only can give away what you have.
Well, that's cheap. I mean, that sounds good, but
That's the same thing.
we don't give away what you have. That don't sound like nothing. I'm talking about the way the man's got the thing laid out.
But
You can only give away what you have. I mean, it's street alley talk.
you can only give what you have. You can only hit what you aim at.
Well, yeah, those words ain't no wisdom, though. You can only hit what
Not
you aim
wisdom.
at. No. Truth. No, it's all in here. You don't talk no imaginariness.
I'm not trying to battle with the talk.
Hold it. The nature of love is as oh yeah. You can say your little thing after this. But what's the nature of love?
The nature of love, it's respect of everything that you care for.
Okay. The nature of love is try kiddish and amorous is nothing that is the man who's heavy with them. The nature of love is everything you respect and care for. Okay, that's your word. Listen to these things. The nature of love is as the nature of water. Start now.
What?
Water. Water. Wait. The nature of love is as the nature of water. The depth of the earth.
Same thing I
If
said.
we do not dig enough, we find mud, not water. But when we dig deep enough, we find water. And so he's comparing it in this way.
Okay, read another one.
Hold it.
Before you read it.
Hold it. Okay. If man were born perfect, there would be no joy in life, in the journey. See, we don't, me or you, right all week, we don't let you. He son shook his head. Any country, any doctor, you talk plain good talk for somebody in Harlem, but I'm talking about a worldly, wise man who knows God.
I don't have no problem.
God is plainer than you.
Play in your head. Ain't nothing you got there that I haven't thought of and haven't experienced or felt.
Right. The man,
that?
everybody, everybody,
Not everybody.
but they won't
Not
understand.
everybody.
Everybody understand it.
Not,
Now
I
you're
don't
boasting.
understand all
See,
of it.
now
No,
you're
I'm not.
boasting. You can understand.
But I'm
you
letting you know that I'm not
You can
in
say not
competition
everybody.
with it.
You can say not
I
everybody.
know everyone don't
Hold it.
understand everything.
The man, hold it. The man who has proved in his life to be the friend of every person he meets, in the end will prove to be the friend of God. The man who proves in his life to be the friend of every person he meets, in the end will prove to be the friend of God.
I know, my brother.
The essence of life, the ingredients of life is hope. If we hope to be better, we shall be better.
For the title fight.
You're the expert. I'm here.
No, I'm right. Yeah. So the following year, in February '64, came the title fight. Just before we look at a film, in retrospect, going back 15 years, how would you rate Liston as a champion?
Sonny Liston was, before I fought him, considered one of the greatest fighters in history. George Foreman was considered one of the greatest fighters in history until I beat him. But after I beat him, they didn't look at him as being too great because they didn't want to believe that I was as good as I was. Now they recognize it. Sonny Liston had a punch that knocked out Floyd Patterson just about one round twice. George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier and everybody he fought one round. They were two extraordinary hard punchers, brute animals looking fellas. serious. Liston was serious. Fulton was serious. One fist was as big as both of mine. Everybody was scared of him.
Were you scared of Liston?
Scared to death. I was afraid, but I would always never appear to show it.
Yeah.
Like in life, once we say to ourselves, I have no power, I have no force, I can't do it, we're defeating ourselves. It's the attitude that makes people right and wrong. It's the attitude that makes people unhappy or happy, whatever, success or failure. It's always your attitude. My attitude was confidence. I cannot be beat. I am the greatest. I'm going to destroy the big ugly bear. I'm pretty. I cannot lose. And this will put me on the spot. All of this talking, all this boasting, I couldn't afford to lose because I'd have to come out and see my friends and say, I thought you were going to lose. No, I couldn't go home. They ran me out of school. So therefore, all the talking made me work hard. I had to fight. So, and then I made myself believe that I would come on the dog. Same with people. The same with boxers.
Well, you were certainly the underdog against Liston.
Oh, man, I was
8-1, yeah.
But I put the fear on him.
Yeah. Well, we've actually got, we've clipped the fight film to show the last 2 rounds.
No, you don't.
We've got a lot of fight films.
You got Liston fight?
Yes, we're going to show it now. Right. But just before we do, to explain, we're showing the last 2 rounds, and you recall that in the 5th round, that was the round you had something in your eyes. So we start with that. What was it again?
Well, a man came to me before I fought George Foreman. I won't say his name. He was with Liston. He don't have a job now. He was with Liston at the time. He came to me to show you the limit of his mentality. He shouldn't have told me this, but I didn't say that because it was all over and I won the fight. He says, champion, I got some stuff you can put on your gloves. And if you get in trouble with George Foreman, they can put on your gloves. And when you go out the next round and punch at him, the sweat and the heat from this liniment will blind him temporarily and you can knock him out. So I wasn't going to do nothing illegal. And it came to me when we left. That's what happened. I fought Liston.
Yes.
I couldn't see. I had Liston in trouble. I was winning the fight. And at round 5, I couldn't see.
Well,
and this is the same man.
So someone put it on Liston's gloves?
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at that. Anyway, the clip of the last 2 rounds.
We hit boxing with a loud bang.
Well, in fact, we've got a wee bit of preliminary material there, but it doesn't matter.
An 8-1 underdog in his title fight against champion Sonny Liston.
On camera now, can you hear us?
We're not on camera, but we can talk.
Champion Sonny Liston chases his young challenger all over the ring. Liston throws everything at the
right now, I think this is around I can't see.
That's right. Yeah.
All I'm doing is holding my arm out and moving. See, he's throwing punches. I'm lucky. God bless me. He didn't land a good one. All I'm doing is leaning and holding him away. I'm trying to feel him. I'm not throwing no punches. I'm not really defending myself. I'm just like a radar, sticking my arm out, hoping to find out where he is so I can block his punches. Sonny Liston was one of the greatest fighters, unranked, like he should, ranked like he should. He's one of the most scientific boxers that ever lived, but I overshadowed him such an ability and impressed the people overlooked. Sonny Liston was a great fighter, strong. Remember, everybody was scared of Sonny Liston. He knocked out Patterson twice, chilled everybody that fought. Big fist, serious. Sonny Liston was bad.
I'm making. Riding the bus all the way to New York. They laughed at our painted bus. All across the country they laughed at us. They called us the lie. That's all we had. Chairman's a bone, not me.
Look at him. What do you think is going through this youngster's mind? He's 12 minutes into the fight.
Well, he's talking a lot now. I don't know who. Like he's arguing with his trainers. You know, I don't know. Clay, I think he's getting more confident as the fight go along. So
getting more confident?
I think so. As long as the fight goes, more confident he would be.
That's Angelo Dundee that he was arguing with, Joe. Angelo now is telling him off a little bit while he gets him ready. Is the fellow surprising you? Is Sonny surprising you?
I think that Clay is surprising the whole world of going along with Sonny. And not only he's showing such to be in a good fight.
Thank you, chap. getting ready for number 5.
Something wrong with Clay now. Something wrong with Clay. Something wrong with Clay.
I see that, Joe. His eyes are bothering him. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know exactly what happened. They're yelling from Cassius Clay's corner. Something got in his right eye. However, he's blinking badly. Sonny's going to try to part on. Cassius still having some problems with his eyes. He's blinking and he's bouncing away continually. Liston still aiming toward the body with the big punches. Cassius still having some problems with his eyes. He's blinking and he's bouncing away.
Just in general, if you walk in someplace, you would be the dominant figure in the room. Is there anything that frightens you?
Well, as much as I fly, I shouldn't be, but airplanes scare me to death. It's a terrible feeling when you're over the ocean. We were coming here the other night. We were over the ocean about 5 hours out of Los Angeles, and the pilot came on and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your safety belts. It looks like we're going to hit a little rough weather." And that scares you when the pilot says it. It's going to be kind of choppy, so hold on, ladies, quit serving. I said, "Oh, Lord." And I see the lightning flashing. I can see lightning flashing. Yeah. He says, "We're going to have a few thunderstorms. We're going to do our best to go around them, but hold on, we should." I said, "Oh, Lord, help me." All I can think about is the plane, and the wings was jumping up and down like that and looking like the wings were going to break. And I could just imagine the plane splitting and me not yet dead, flying through there. Oh, Lord, I'm going to die. I'm going to leave all this world, all these pretty girls, all this fun. I'm going to leave it all. And then land in the ocean and still not dead. And I'm trying to stay up, and the sharks are biting at me. Knowing you're going to die. And if I'm able to hold myself up and no sharks are coming, I have to stay up until somebody rescued me. It took us 4 hours to get out there. Yeah. It's going to take another 10 hours to find us. So, I mean, just life, and life is so nothing, and we can die so quick, and planes fall all the time. And so what really frightens me is been not death itself, but the idea of knowing I'm dying. The wing is off the plane.
back well this time, Clay, but he needed to. Good left hooks from Clay. One of the rare left hooks that he used. But now he's giving Frazier a working over, and Frazier goes back for the first time. Round 9, and Clay forced Frazier to retreat, and he retreated because he was getting hurt.
Present from Blackpool.
Yeah. Tell us about the future as you see it.
Right now, I'm just nothing now, but just resting.
He's just going to hit the rock.
All I want to do is rest now.
Would you like to?
Would you like to fight him again? Yeah.
When do you want him again, Ali?
I don't know. He wants to rest, and I want to rest.
What do you think happened last night?
Oh well, my image is so superior when usually I'm in there. Until when the thing is that close, it could go either way because it's me involved. But I did lose the round I got knocked down in. I played around a few rounds with him. I understand that caused me to lose the round. I didn't know that would cause me to lose it.
What do you mean by why did you do that? Around,
just punching, just holding his head and playing around.
Why did you do that?
Oh, just showing people how easy it is to get to a great fighter.
You think this was a bad mistake psychologically? Or?
Well, yeah. I feel you have obligation to many thousands of fans who are pulling for you, who are crying, and they're worrying about you and how you feel. And I think if they can see that you realize that I'm human, and I realize that we all have to lose and life's still going on, then
lose one.
Not glad in a way I am. I didn't want to lose, but since I have lost, you have to just make the best of it. Like a man's in prison for 99 years. He's there, just realize he's in prison, and he'll have to make his world in prison. So same with this. I lost, and I think I won on points. If you look at Frazier's face and look at mine, there's no comparison. I'm sure I hit him 3 times more than he hit me if you watch the film. And I won at least 9 rounds, but with the judges I didn't. But it's nothing to cry and complain about. You know, I've been always handing out the defeat, so now I'm defeated, and now I can see how other people felt. And when I do come back, if I ever do, I'll have more of a hunger, determination, which is something you lose in the intoxication of so-called greatness, and then the intoxication of being always victorious. You soon come to the point where you let your guard down.
You say, is he a great fighter?
You said if.
He's not a great boxer. He's not a boxer. He is a great slugger, a great street fighter, a bull fighter. Take a lot of punches. Eyes closed, but just keep coming.
Were you surprised that he could take as much punishment as he did?
In a way I was, then in a way I wasn't, because I know he's never been out. Bonavina hit him with some things probably as hard or harder than I did. So Ellis catch him, and I figured he could take the punches, but what I was surprised of, only one thing surprised me in this fight, and that's that he landed his left hook as regular as he did, although he missed a lot. Usually I just don't get hit over and over with the same punches.
Do you think you took his best shot?
Oh, I know I did. Even before the knockdown, he'd hit me a whole lot of times, solid.
You said all along that you had fooled the press during your 3.5 years that you had been working out in the gym.
Right.
You feel that 3.5 years took just too much out of you?
No, it didn't. As you see, I came back and beat Bonavina and Quarry, quick and easy, and Frazier did. And if you watch that Joe Frazier fight, I mean, that was one heck of a night. And I don't think you have another man today that could have went 15 rounds with Joe Frazier, that hard and constant for 15, and take his best and get up, and then also hit him 3 times more than he hit me.
But Muhammad, if you had fought him 3 years ago,
I think he'd whip me quicker, because I wasn't as strong as I am now. I don't hit as hard as I do now.
Could you have taken defeat 3 years ago as well as you're taking it this morning?
Yeah, yes sir.
What do you feel about the next one, Ali? Is it? Do you feel that? What do you feel?
At least 5 miles every morning, where I didn't run over 3 miles this time, and I would also day of the fight I would rest in a genuine bed. I slept at the Madison Square Garden all day on a cot.
Muhammad,
I rested, but it wasn't like I should have rested.
How does your family feel about continuing in the fight?
My wife wants me to get on out. My wife,
she wants you to get out?
She don't like fights. She don't even come to them.
You talked to Joe since the fight?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen her from Joe.
What were you saying to him in the ring last night?
Well, I wasn't like going into that. All that's over. I never talk about opponents after the fight. All this fight promotion, just to build fights, and then I try to back it up from there. And after that, it's all over.
Do you feel a little bit uneasy about the fact that you were predicting me and that you made a lot of predictions that some people regarded as boastful, and
you lost?
Well, I know that they regard it as boastful. This is why we got. This is why we just had the biggest event in the history of all sports and anything commercial. And it's just a game, and you win and you lose, you know. So I'm sure the plane takes off with 56 people on it and go down and kill all the people. They didn't intend to go down.
In Madison Square Garden, because now we've seen Clay come through a bad patch and we've seen him recover.
Right, well, Joe Frazier was awful strong. And if you notice Joe Frazier's previous fights, all of the people that Joe Frazier defeat give him a good fight for 3 or 4 rounds because they're moving and they're sticking or they're trading blow for blow. And finally, Joe is so relentless and so strong until they weaken and then he get them. Well, his plan was to weaken me and to wear me down and then corner me and stop me, body punches until I drop my guard and catch my head. Not knowing Joe Frazier, I started out for about 4 rounds. You notice I was sticking and moving. And I felt myself tired because I've been a mathematician in boxing. I figured fighting 4 rounds at that pace and as tired as I felt myself getting, it'd be impossible to keep this up for 15 because he probably would end up more stronger than I by me punching him and moving, where he was just blocking them, landing 1 or 2 and walking forward. It took more to move away and keep punching. So I thought I would go to the ropes and stand there to see what he really had. And after 1 round, before that round was over, the first round I laid on the ropes, I found out that he threw everything he had. I equalized it. He was tiring himself out. But then I found out I later lost those rounds. But I found out later that if I had kept up my footwork and paced myself right, and if I was really in better shape, I could have danced and fought the Ali style for 15 rounds even more. But at the time, I didn't know him, and I was trying to fake him out. I was trying to wear him down. He beat James Ellis when he stopped Buster Mathis, when he stopped Bobby Foster. These fellows are not real great fighters or real championship quality, and it was a matter of them getting hit, and that was it. But if you watch Sugar Ray Robinson in his day, Joe Louis, if you watch Ezra Charles and Walcott, these great fighters got hit a lot. Marciano too, Dempsey, they got hit and they got shook up, and they human, they fell, they got up. But the real champion can be tagged, can be just about semi-unconscious or out on his feet, and he realizes he has a built-in radar that tells him, I'm out. I have to stay out of range for at least 10 or 15 seconds till I recuperate. Whether it's clinching, whether it's outright backpedaling, whether it's tying him up, you have to know how to recuperate if you get tagged. And what Frazier couldn't do was he couldn't follow me up because I've been in the ring like 19 years. 2-time national Golden Glove champion, AAU, Olympics, all these title fights, and just one hard punch don't finish a great fighter like myself. So, and then he was not experienced or skillful or fast enough to follow me up after that one punch.
Did the same thing occur in round 15 when, after being knocked down, I noticed that every time he got close to you,
15,
you leaned on him?
Well, round 15, right, round 15, that punch didn't hurt like the 11th. The 11th round, punches that knock you out, you really don't see them. And the 11th round, I didn't hardly see that punch. That was a hard one. But the 15th round, I saw it coming, and somewhere I leaned back and leaned right into the hook. But the power of it knocked me down, but it wasn't enough to hurt me internally. So I got right up, if you notice, after that and won the rest of the round.
What specifically would you do different if you fought Joe Frazier again?
Number one, I come in with a most serious attitude. I was joking around with him before the fight, and I stayed on the ropes for 3 rounds. You know, the talk was if Joe Frazier catch me on the ropes, he would tear up my body. Listening to the press and trying to prove and show to them that Joe Frazier's body punch will not hurt me and Joe Frazier can't do nothing, I'll stay here for a few rounds and show you. And forget about that and just stay on my toes, jab and move, right cross, hook him, clinch him, push him off, jab and moving, keep stay in the center of the ring. And watch out for his left hook. Keep my guard a little higher and be conscious. I figured 1 or 2 left hooks, he was just lucky in the front. But he kept landing into the 15th. I found out he's got a trick, slick, fast, hard left hook. I'll be concentrating on left hooks, and I'll stay on my toes and stay out of the corners. And this way, it'll be convincing if it's got to be a decision that I want it.
After the Joe Frazier fight, regardless of who wins, you've said that you won't fight anymore. Does that
I'm
still
finished,
go?
right.
So, right, everything that you do now is pointing towards, hopefully, another fight with Joe
Right.
Frazier.
Well, I could fight Joe Frazier now if I just sat down, but I want to be active. When I meet him, I want to beat him. I'm cheating myself if I just sat down, say, waiting for the payday, and that's all. I want to be ready when I fight him. I'm fighting this fight with Ellis and a couple more. And if the opponents are not really that much threat, still the training for the competition is good. Just staying active, having something to run for, having something to go to gymnasium for. All of this will keep me busy probably for enough time permits for another 6 or 7 months, which would be falling right in line for another fight where I'll be active.
My last question, Muhammad, is this. The Muhammad Ali that I remember against Cleveland Williams, against Ernie Terrell, the Muhammad Ali, let's say, in his prime, do you believe that you could get back to the point where you could be the fighter that I remember?
Right. I believe I could be better because I'm just about the right age. 29 ain't really that old. Remember Sugar Ray and Archie Moore, they were fighting good and putting up good 10-round fights in the 50s and 40s.
That's true.
And 29 ain't really that old. I've been so publicized. I've won fights so easy, unmarked, and you can be intoxicated with not only alcohol or narcotics, but you can be intoxicated with greatness. And when a man's intoxicated, he'll do something that he wouldn't do otherwise. So now that I've been sobered up a little and realized that I can slip, that if I don't work like I should, and my mind might tell me to do something, but my body won't. Well, this is getting me more hungry like I used to be coming up. So I'm sure I can do it again. I can move like I always move. I can dance for 15 rounds, but I have to concentrate on it. And I have to quit training like I train. When I train with sparring partners, a lot of time I stay in the corners and I go flat-footed, and they don't hurt me, but I let them throw all the punches they want. And you can get in the habit of standing flat-footed and standing in corners. And I've just learned this. And it's kind of hard to train one way for months and then get in the ring and do another way. So I have to train like I fight.
When they say Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest fighter pound for pound, meaning that I imagine if he was a heavyweight fighting the same style, he'd be the greatest, I would have to admit, I would have to say yes. I have his fight films, I've watched him. That man was beautiful. Timing, speed, reflexes, rhythm, his body, everything was beautiful. I say I'm the greatest heavyweight of all times, but pound for pound, I still say Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest of all time.
Sugar Ray Robinson. He's still my idol. If I said anybody was greater than me, where is it? Come on, bring him in. Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm not feeling because he's not the champ now, and he's going where people don't know him that much this generation. God will punish me if I don't give credit where it's due. It was this man that inspired me watching him fight. I mean, he had a style. He was pretty. Let me tell you something. Pretty about it. Every time he come in this corner, he had men combing his hair. So thank you about everything.
dancing and sticking, sidestepping, bouncing off the ropes, dancing and sticking. Beat him all night. Tire him out by 7 rounds.
Right.
You're gonna be so game in 7 rounds.
Right.
Tire him out.
Bring him home.
Get my legs ready. I'll be dancing all night.
Right.
Fastest heavyweight of all time.
Right. 10. Right.
Fastest with the rope. The stage is set for me to be ranked as the greatest of all time. Talk about how big George Foreman is, how terrible, I'm scared for my life, how relentless he is. That sucker ain't nothing. I had to trick him into this fight. I had to make the world think my legs were gone. Then they signed. They said, well, if he was like Ali that fought Liston, he'd beat him. Jab him silly and dance all night, but he can't dance no more. Previous fights show where he stands in the corner. I did that on purpose, man. That's my war beat. Says it's on.
From the root to the fruit, that's where everything started at. This is God's act, and you're a part of it. This is no Hollywood set. This is real. Hollywood come in and take these kind of scenes and set them up. Have somebody in the movies playing his life. This is real. We don't pick up a script. We get up in the morning feeling tired. Sometimes we feel good, sometimes bad, but we go through it with feelings. Muhammad Ali was born to do it. He's a prophet. He's going to be a fisherman for Elijah Muhammad. This is only a stop, look, and listen sign he's doing, fighting. We've been fighting ever since we've been met. You beat Uncle Sam, 3.5 years, come out of the garage and beat number 2. First man ever did it. The rest of them they put out the country. This is God's act. We just actors in it. If Jesus was here, everybody would want his autograph. If films was around when he was around to be filming him. The only thing, this is a sport. That's why you walk and talk to him. I think Muhammad is a prophet. How you gonna beat God, son? Anybody love poor people and little people gotta be a prophet. He was champion of the world, had a long table full of food, had a house for his mother, one for him, and he told him to take it and share it. If he couldn't love his God, what you think he is? Mister?
Come on, you can do better than that, George. You want a corner me? Here I am. You waiting to corner me? He just, boy, you are in trouble. I said, you don't have but 2 chances, slim and none. You in trouble. I talked to him through the whole fight.
Did he ever talk back to you?
Just to do and say the things I do. So I have to box. And my purpose is not to hurt nobody, but my purpose is to get the ear of the world because I have things I want to say for the third world, the minority groups, the people who are deprived of freedom, justice, equality. I have to try to be one of their spokesmen. And I can do it by beating up thing to take him down, and he's still big. So who's protecting me if it ain't God?
Winning lead by any means. And we don't own nothing, we're only trustees. And when you die, you're going to leave your wealth to somebody else. There's going to be arguments about this. I don't care if you're Howard Hughes. He had $2 billion, but he died. Whoever built this hotel one day will be dead in the same building we are. So we don't own nothing, we just hold it for a while.
To pay to each other. We're free now. What did you mean about that? Was this free from the hatred that we read about between the two of you?
No, what I meant was that we don't have to fight no more. All the talking about I don't like you and I hate you and the street fights and the fussing with me.
Man who is not courageous enough to take risk will accomplish
Well, I can't see that Frazier can win. Most of all, champions are born. They're not made in the gym. If they were, it would be like a loaf of bread in a baker's shop. You turn them out every day. This man is the fastest heavyweight was ever born. He was born to do what he's doing. And after the fight game is over, he's going to show you what he really is. He's a prophet because he loves old people, young kids and babies. And anyone that loves underdogs is really a true man. And I can't see that Frazier can beat him because Frazier is fighting for money and for a belt that you can't even pawn in the pawn shop. And this man is fighting for a lot of people, all kinds of people all over the world.
As they say, the star closed the show.
It was a thriller because we both took a lot of punches. We fought from beginning to end. And he just quit before I did because he was so painful. And he was so unconscious, they thought he got killed.
Where he is and having to take
Maybe he quit because he quit 10 seconds before I wanted to.
If the odds are 50 years from today, everybody watching this show is going to be dead. You're going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. It's going to be a whole new center built out here. All this wasn't here a few years ago, and we wasn't here a few years ago. So if we can't do nothing and help people with our life and make life better, and then help your children and make a way for your people to live a name, make a name that's going to live, ain't no sense in being here.
I think boxing is dangerous. Any man being hit in the head, the brain's a delicate thing. I think it should be well protected. If a fellow's not qualified, he shouldn't be allowed to fight.
What is it you want to do after you've stopped fighting?
Well, I figure that we only have so many hours a day to do whatever we have to do. So many years to live, and in those years we sleep about 8 hours a day. We travel, we watch television. If a man's 50 years old, he's lucky to say if he's had 20 years to actually live. So I would like to do the best that I can for humanity. I'm blessed by God to be recognized as the most famous face on the earth today. And I cannot think of nothing no better than helping God's creatures or helping poverty or working for good causes where I can use my name to do so, to help this country in other countries where we're having various problems where my influence might help. There's things I want to do for people of the world, and I can get through them through sports. See, we all were born for a purpose. Every trees, the moon, rain, snow, everything God created has a purpose, and man has a purpose, and the wise man is he who finds his life purpose.
And to come back and go against George Foreman?
No, I'm going to be the first black fighter to get out smart, invested well, intelligent, with a clean record, and always I'll be the greatest this way. Stay in the ring, it's crazy. I don't need to fight no more.
Why did you say that last week, then, that you were going to come back and fight Foreman?
Shake them up, tease some publicity. I say what I want to say.
With you retiring, as you say you're going to do now, who should be the next heavyweight champion?
It should be decided in the ring. It ain't what I think. The best man, the hardest hitter, will be the champion. And that's George Foreman. He'll knock out Norton. He'll knock out Jimmy Young. He'll knock out Bobby. He'll knock out everybody, the greatest.
And he's not going to get a chance to do that again.
I knocked him out already.
And there's no reason to come back and do it again.
I'd be crazy. I'm too great to fool around and get some accident or some cutout, because of my age, somebody claim victory. I'm too great. Two-time United States Golden Glove champion, two-time United States National AAU champion, gold medal in Rome, upset Sonny Liston twice, came back and beat Joe Frazier twice after he won. Norton broke my jaw, beat him twice, knocked out Foreman. My record's too pretty to stay around and end up on my back like some bum. I am finished. So I will say to all of you, goodbye.
I'll say one thing, as far as losing popularity is concerned, and we'll ask these people, for an example, like being the champion and all of that. Everybody out here, who's the heavyweight champion of the world?
I've always wanted to be a champion, leader of my people in some kind of way to help them. That was my life purpose, was to be somebody with influence to help lead people the right way. I always knew it was going to happen. I knew I was born for something.
Get on top. If we can take all this fame and all this power, if you could get James Brown and Jackson 5 and The Temptation and Sammy Davis and Red Fox and Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier and Flip Wilson, get them all talking like me, we'd be free tomorrow. Hey! But this brother I respect for his feelings on his rooftop in New Orleans, who knew he was going to die, shooting out the whole police force, helicopters, killing people, knowing he was dead. And I wrote a poem, it had a little help on it, but it describes how this man must have felt on that rooftop. It went like this: better far from all I see, to die fighting to be free. What more fitting end could be?
Better surely than in some bed where in broken health I'm led, lingering until I'm dead. Better than with prayers and pleas or in the clutch of some disease, wasting slowly by degrees. Better than a heart attack or some dose of drug I lack. Let me die by being black. Better far that I should go, standing here against the foe. It's a sweeter death to know. Better than the bloody stain on some highway where I'm pain, torn by flying glass and pain. Better calling death to come than to die another dumb, muted brother in the slum. Better than of prison rot. If there's any choice I've got, rather perish on the spot. Better far my fight to wage now while my blood boils with rage, lest it cool with ancient age. Better valor for me to die than to Uncle Tom and try, making peace just to live a lie. Better if I say my sooth, I'm gonna die demanding truth while I'm still akin to youth. Better now than later on, now that fear of death is gone. Never mind another darn. They got it. But he died.